All right, welcome to my quick review of Captain Marvel. I have a longer review with my initial thoughts, and I'll probably put that in the description so that you can check that out if you want. But this is just the quick summary. So first off, the pros. The bad guys in this are called Skrulls. They're like these weird goblin-looking dudes, and they are awesome. They are able to shapeshift into like any person they see. So it's like there's a lot of intrigue, a lot of spies. No one knows who's to trust because they're all worried that anybody that they talk to could be an evil Skrull. And the parts of the movie where the Skrulls are like shapeshifting and stuff are awesome. It's really exciting. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Winter Soldier, where they're not sure like who is part of the Hydra. Skrulls are awesome. I would watch 8 whole movies where Skrulls were the bad guys. It's awesome. The next thing, I like the setting. It's Earth in the 90s. It's pretty cool. You saw like Rock the Vote. She's using a payphone. She like got like some of the wires and stuff from Radio Shack. They're a little bit pandering to the 90s, and I wish they did even more of it because it was kind of cool. Kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy is like has a lot of like older music from like the 80s and the 70s. This has a bunch of 90s music, and I think that was pretty cool. I think they could have gone even harder on the 90s stuff, and it would have been fun. But I liked it. It was fun. And then the best of all, I don't know why the marketing didn't sell this as Samuel L. Jackson being one of the leads. He is in this movie, and they have taken him and they have de-aged him using movie magic, and he looks a lot younger. Normally this kind of stuff kind of weirds me out, but it looks so good. They did such a good job. It looks amazing. I think we're like the technology must have come so far that it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, it's really cool seeing young Samuel L. Jackson. Looking at him, it doesn't weird you out. The only thing is, it's weird to hear him not swear. It's a PG-13 movie. I'm used to Samuel L. just, letting loose a little. But yeah, he is great. Every scene he's in is awesome. He's kind of like a cheat code, The writing isn't always the best in this movie, but when Samuel L. Jackson's talking, it's always funny. It's always lively. The dude's awesome. It was great to see him. This is, I think, the most he's been in a Marvel movie in a long time. And it's cool. They did an excellent job. All right, on to the cons. The cons, Captain Marvel herself. Captain Marvel, she throughout most of the movie has like space amnesia, and it's not very cool. I guess to explain it better, she doesn't remember her past at all, so she has very little personality. She's like a soldier, and she just doesn't have a whole lot of attitude of her own. She's very strong, and that's nice. But when it comes to like her personality, it's just not there. They try to build up some relationships with her, and I don't know that it really works that well because she just kind of like has this space amnesia. It's really like it's hard to relate to her. And I think in future movies, Captain Marvel can be a lot cooler because this was like the origin story. We're getting all that stuff out of the way. They could do a lot of cool things with her character now that they've kind of done this initial story. But first off, like first impressions, the space amnesia makes her this really kind of like uninteresting person. And her powers, she has like these photon rays, and she has like these crazy hands that glow. But just kind of like generically powerful. She doesn't have like super cool like Spider-Man powers, or she's got like the generic like Iron Man, Superman kind of powers, which is fine. It's just 40 Marvel movies in or whatever. It's just not as exciting as it used to be. The tone mismatch. So like sometimes they're telling jokes, sometimes they're acting real serious. I think the movie couldn't figure out if it wanted to be like Captain America Winter Soldier or if it wanted to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they should have just picked one and went harder with it. More jokes, more funniness, lightheartedness, or like gone really thriller. And just gone hardcore thriller with the Skrulls. And that would have been sweet. I would have watched either of those movies. As it stands, I still liked it. It's just sometimes the writing was a little clunky. The jokes didn't land. And like sometimes she'll like be really cool and like be spunky, and then the next minute she goes back to like being space amnesia, whatever. And I think like in the future movies when she gets to let loose, she'll have more of that spunkiness, and that'll help fix the tone of the movie and make it a little more fun. And the fights were boring. The fights weren't that cool. You know, everyone's just kind of super powerful. It wasn't that interesting. It wasn't like cool kung fu or anything. And the first fight, when they go to the first planet at the beginning of the movie, it's so dark. I hated it. You could like, it hurt my eyes. But the fights were kind of boring, but there was a sweet chase scene that I think is awesome. And it was, I liked it a lot. So conclusion, what did I think? I actually really liked the movie. I mean, not really liked it, but for a Marvel movie, I liked it a lot. It was a good Marvel movie, and if you like those types of movies, I think you should go out and see Captain Marvel. I think a lot of people are going crazy online reviewing this movie, and they're like being super harsh because they're like comparing it to like Oscar movies and stuff like that, or they're just being a little extra mean because they're giving too much hate to Oscar winner Brie Larson, who is an excellent actress. It's not her fault. Her character has space amnesia, so hopefully she gets to let loose a little in the sequels. You know, I think if you like the superhero movies, this is a fun one. It's super fun watching young Samuel L. Jackson and her like fight these Skrulls, which are like the shapeshifter dudes. It's cool seeing them go in the 90s. Not everything in the movie works perfectly, and not everything is that great. The superhero Captain Marvel herself isn't the coolest, but I think overall I had a great time in theater. I really enjoyed it, and I think most people will. I didn't like it as much as Thor Ragnarok, so I'm just trying to put it in terms of recent Marvel movies, but I liked it about as much as like Doctor Strange, whereas it's kind of a cool movie. And the only thing is, like, I wish this movie had so many things that I really liked that I wish they just would have put more Samuel L. Jackson, more Skrull intrigue, and more jokes, more music, that kind of stuff, and made it a little more like lighthearted. But I think they just got a little confused and couldn't quite figure out what kind of movie it wanted to be. But if you like the Marvel movies, go check out this one. I think you'll like it a lot.